Here we are on day 6 of our daily reflection called Risen, and today we're going to be looking at the Great Commission. You know, Matthew 28:16 to 20 often referred to it as the Great Commission, and it's a foundational passage that encapsulates Jesus' final instructions to his disciples before his ascension. And in these verses, Jesus commissions his followers to make disciples of all nations, promising his presence and authority as they fulfill this mission. You see, the Great Commission is not merely a directive for pastors and missionaries. It's a mandate for every follower of Christ. We are called to actively engage in evangelism and discipleship, both locally and globally. And this entails sharing the gospel message with those who have not yet heard it, as well as nurturing and equipping new believers to grow in their faith. And as individuals, we can engage in intentional conversations, acts of service, and genuine relationships to fulfill the commission in our spheres of influence. And whether it's just reaching out to a neighbour or co-worker or a friend, each interaction presents an opportunity to fulfill the Great Commission and advance God's kingdom. So beyond individual efforts, the Great Commission also calls us to participate in collective endeavours to reach the nations with the gospel. And this may involve supporting missionary organisations or participating in the outreach events or volunteering in a local ministries that serve marginalised communities. And by acting and engaging in community outreach and mission work, we contribute to the fulfilment of the Great Commission on a broader scale, impacting lives and communities with a transformative message of Christ's love and salvation. So, as we embark on this task of making disciples, it is really essential to recognise our dependence on Jesus' presence and authority. You know, in the Great Commission, Jesus promises to be with us always, even to the end of the age. And this assurance empowers and sustains us as we step out in obedience to his commandment. It reminds us that the success of our efforts does not depend on our own abilities or the strategies, but on the power and the presence of Christ working through us. So therefore, we can approach the task of making disciples with confidence and boldness, knowing that Jesus goes before us and empowers us by his Spirit. So in conclusion, Matthew 28:16 to 20 challenges us to actively engage in fulfilling the Great Commission in our own lives and our communities, whether through personal evangelism or community outreach or mission endeavours. We are called to proclaim the gospel message and make disciples of all nations. As we undertake this task, let us do so with a deep reliance on Jesus' presence and authority, trusting that he will be with us every step of the way. So until tomorrow, where I'm going to share the final thoughts on this subject, Risen, I look forward to sharing with you then.